Good evening. I'm Jack Penders, and welcome to the October 5th, 2016. I'm sorry. Good evening. I'm Jack Penders. Welcome to the Monday, October 3rd, 2016 meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission. It's 6:35, and we'll call the meeting to order at that time. And I think we want to just begin by welcoming back one of our commission members who's been out of commission for quite a while. So would you please join me in welcoming her back? Judy Sullivan. To my right is Sue Robbins, commission member. To Sue's right is Claire Dunn. To Claire's right is Diane Van Steenbergen. To my left is Rose Dostert, Commission Vice Chair, and repeating it. To Rose's left is Judy Sullivan, Commission Member, and sorely missed. And to Judy's left is Rick Maynard, Department Head for the Guilford Parks and Recreation Department. To Rick's left is John Jagelski, Commission Member. And to John's left is Catherine Stewart, the Commission Recording Secretary, and the man behind the camera is Peter Schultz, our videographer. Item 2 on the agenda is the public forum. Seeing no one here for the public forum, we'll move on to... Pardon?
Would you like me to make a motion that we move this up on the agenda
If you'd like, okay.
for Chris?
Yeah. So in the interest of Chris Miller, our Eagle Scout candidate, Rose Dostert has a motion to make.
I will make a motion that we move up new business item A after public forum.
So, Chris?
Do we have to second?
Has just entered the room. You could, Mark, you could move down to the left. Chris, come on up here. Oops, I'm sorry.
Sue seconded it. Sue seconded it. Oh, I'm sorry. John, I heard that. You gotta be closer to it.
And for the record, also arriving is, or was John Jagelski, Commission member.
No. Mark Capola.
Oh, I did say that as I was walking over.
John's here.
You already introduced it, never mind.
I'm gonna walk out.
Mark, you heard me say your name as...
Do you need one of these?
Thank you.
Next up Monday.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
So, sir, the floor is
As long
yours.
as I take it.
Please tell us about your plan and your proposal.
So, my name's Chris Miller. I am a Star Scout on the verge of the final steps of reaching his life rank in Boy Scouts of Troop 471. And I'm here to submit my proposal for my Eagle Scout project. My project would be building a roof on the Bittner Park announcer station. The roof of this for the station would allow the announcers to remain dry, as well as the electronics equipment and any literature needed to stay dry. The estimated cost of this project would be $1,424. On the second page, you can see a preliminary materials list with all the projected costs. The main source of funding of this would be through private donations, such as a GoFundMe account through crowdfunding, or certain fundraisers my troop could have for this project. I will enlist local volunteers to help me with the building of this project, as well as members of my own troop and any friends and family of this community. My time frame for this project would be early spring of 2017, with a target start date of the project being March 1st.
And I'm assuming that under that section, who will build it, that's an important part of the Eagle Scout project.
Yes.
The idea is to develop leadership skills and coordination skills and organizational skills. But
And this is what it looks like now.
How much
Yes,
time
it
do
does,
you
yes.
think
Yes.
estimate that
Yes.
this would take to build?
what, do you know if there was ever a top on that, or was that always exposed?
Yeah, it's always,
That's the way it's been since day one.
Really?
Mhm.
I didn't even know it was there. I think Mark asked you how long.
yes, how long? Usually with Eagle Scout projects, there will be a certain amount of work project weekends with me, just with my troop, really assembling probably the roof of this, and then probably 1 week or two where it's just assembling this onto the roof itself.
So you do it ahead and then bring it on
Yes.
site. Nice.
Good. So you could potentially have it, I would say a month, month and a half, let's say, to be weather conditions in March, right? It's great.
Yeah, March is empty.
Right.
And I'm assuming with your estimated target date of March of 2017, that'll certainly be well before your 18th birthday.
Yes.
So you're, okay.
All right.
If you look in the background there, there's a yellow shading. That's a job locker that they put their
That they can
equipment.
put the stuff in.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
I think this is a great idea.
It's a great
Not
idea.
only to keep the people dry, but the electronic stuff. Because what did they do when it rains? Did they just put everything away?
Umbrellas.
Umbrellas?
Wow.
The number of soccer games or whenever I've been to, I haven't paid any attention to the speakers.
Well, I think it's a great idea, considering I never knew it was there, so, thanks for bringing it to my attention and, for making it more safe so that we could have our electronics and people.
Well, the other option too is that, we used to have GCTV televise some of the varsity games as well at Bittner Park. And this would be helpful for them to do so as well, because they can bring their equipment out there now. Because if the games are up at the high school, they use the football tower for their games. But at Bittner Park, there's nothing to use to shelter the equipment from the game,
And
from the rain.
Bittner still is the home soccer field for all the high school games. There are about 30, 40 games there, JV and varsity level, boys and girls. Even though it's a synthetic turf field, they like using the Bittner is one of the best fields around, and they still play most of their home games, other than the
Yes.
Madison game, I think, is at the high school.
Yeah.
And youth soccer uses it, a lot in the spring, too. So this benefits the high school as well as youth soccer, right? Youth soccer still uses that for the scoreboard and everything, right, Tim? Tim's a past president of the youth soccer club, too. So, yeah, it would benefit a lot of people.
I think it's a great idea. I didn't realize it wasn't a top there, so.
So Chris, what is it that you're
Good.
looking for our
Permission.
funds? How we can participate? or
How can we help you?
How can we help you?
Mainly for this meeting tonight was just my proposal for this in general, but I can, for your help, I could probably see you assisting mostly in,
Part of the installation,
Yes.
to have help?
Yeah, I
do
think
that?
we need our
Okay.
approval, right? We wanted the board, the commission to say that this is a good idea. and-
thank you.
Yeah.
So besides our approval, which it sounds like we are wholeheartedly giving you, maybe, sounds like as you get into the project, to look and see if there's something
Something
that
we
you
can-
feel
we can do.
specifically, once you get in there, that we could help you with?
Maybe just
And you
like-
could come back and,
Maybe communication of the project as well.
I think if you could, once you maybe establish your GoFund account, might get that prepared for us, you can certainly come back to one of our next meetings, maybe next month's meeting, and we can help to, with the help of
Publicize it.
television, help to publicize it.
Yeah.
So,
and
be
then
happy to do that.
as far as construction, once you're into your construction, perhaps there's something that we can
Help with.
help with, because, we have staff and materials as far as,
This is a very
So-
clear, very concise proposal.
It's
Yeah.
very well done.
Very
Very
good
clear and
job.
precise. Thank
Did
you
a good
very
job.
much.
Yep.
And
Do we need to take a
anything-
vote on it?
anything- Yeah, I think we should. Any other questions? Is there a motion to approve the Eagle Scout project of Christopher Miller at Bittner Park, building a roof for the announcers booth? Building a roof for the announcers booth, excuse me.
Make a motion to accept Christopher Miller's proposal for his Eagle Scout project. for
I'll
Benton.
second that. It's great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good job.
I hear, no. Congratulations. The motion passes unanimously. And keep us informed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you, Deb.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And I need to have that, so don't go home.
Oh, no, you're gonna keep that where they put it. I know what it looks like. Been there, done that.
Okay.
Item 3 on the agenda, the correspondence. Correspondence received. In our packets, there is a memorandum from Cindy Cartier, who is the member of the Board of Selectmen, and it's to Rick Maynard, and the subject is your staff, A+++++. And I'd just like to read that into the record because I think the staff should hear it through Rick, of course, and also if they should be watching us sometime on GCTV. Rick, I just wanted to give a shout out to your incredible staff. As you know, I had a birthday party for my daughter at the community center yesterday. That would have been Sunday, September 25th. From the folks in your office who helped me book, including Bonnie, to the 2 gentlemen that served as janitors, they all could not have been more helpful and professional. Thank you all for a job well done, and you made a 5-year-old little girl and 25 of her friends very happy. Thank you, Cindy DeMattis Cartier, Selectman. And the second piece of correspondence we received, and it's with her permission that I read a note from Judy Sullivan. Dear Guilford Parks and Recreation employees, dear Guilford Parks and Recreation Commission, just a note to thank you for the pretty flower arrangement you sent to me in the hospital. I guess I had a subarachnoid hemorrhage in the brain. As we get older, the blood vessels and veins get weak and may bleed. Lucky me, no rhyme or reason for when or if it happens. Again, many thanks for the flowers, cards, get well wishes and prayers. The best to everyone. Take care, Judy Sullivan. Thank you, Judy, and continue to get well.
Yes, I'm in awe of all the cards
Great.
and wishes and flowers, and brings tears to my eyes.
That's good.
And the
Thank you.
pickleball program will go on and continue to flourish.
It is, Stephanie Blaha is my backup, and she's awesome.
I've asked almost every time I come in here, how's the pickleball woman doing?
Good.
We missed you, but we were really worried.
Good.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess it was a lot more serious than I ever anticipated, and I'm very lucky that I'm up and going almost 6 weeks later. I'm going, but slowly.
Wow.
I won't look at that.
Slow and steady.
Go good.
That's right.
Slow and steady
Yeah.
wins the race.
Yeah.
Takes a while. Okay.
And also, Rick, it's not strictly speaking correspondence, but under received. Last week, you, Sue, and I had the opportunity to go to the Guilford Preservation Alliance meeting, along with John Cunningham and along with Will Thompson. And the GPA gave us, among other people, a Friends Award from the GPA. And it was at the leadership of Shirley Giulioni, its president, and its selection chairperson, Joel Helander. I should say, the Honorable Joel Helander, even though he's retired, he's still the Honorable Joel Helander to me. So it was a very special ceremony, and
It was recognition for the Jacobs Beach project.
it was recognition for
From
the Jacobs
Parks and
Beach
Rec.
project, yeah. And, thank you.
Yeah, we have the plaque certificate. I think it's on one of the walls downstairs now. We put it right up the next day, so
Okay.
it's on
Good.
display there.
Agenda item 4, approval of the September 19th, 2016 minutes.
Move we approve the minutes.
Second?
Any corrections, omissions, or
All good.
it shouldn't jog our memory too much, or our memories
Yeah,
too much,
really, it's
because
not
it
that
wasn't,
long
it seems
ago.
like only yesterday.
It
that we're
was.
here.
Yeah, you have to
Second,
abstain.
I abstain, that's all.
Yeah, when we get to the vote, you should probably abstain, as should John, and as should Mark, who are not able to be here. We have the window open for air conditioning. All in favor of accepting the September 19th, 2016 minutes?
Aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Mark?
So three.
John?
Abstention.
Judy? Item number 5, review and approval of the expenditures for September of 2016. Let's just get it on the table. Is there a motion to approve the expenditures for September 16th, 2016, in the amount of $133,348.90?
So moved.
Is there a second? Discussion? Question, Rick, under building maintenance, down toward the bottom, shipments, fire equipment.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I believe those are, we had fire extinguisher testing, I believe. We have to get fire extinguishers tested here at the garage. And I'm trying to remember if it's them or another company. We also have the fire suppression system in the kitchen, which, it's a big, over the stove, and that gets tested periodically, or inspected. I think one of them might be one of those. But that's what, generally, it's what is fire extinguishers involved with that.
I have a question about under utilities, Connecticut Water, the second listing.
That's Long Hill Park, it's seasonal. So
It's the
usually it's about, it's
63.25.
quarterly. I'm sorry?
The 63.25.97?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's the,
Is that first time I'm not here?
it's a lot, but it's the driest summer on record.
Yeah.
And so we went through a lot of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if one was, one area more than another, or.
And the other one, I think, is the community center, the 671.
Mm.
The big one is Long Hill Park.
I can tell you Long Hill Park is in perfect shape for the sports that's been played on it for the last 4 weeks, from the high school level and from the youth football level. I mean, it's so good that it's soft. I mean, it's very, very gentle for the players to play on it.
Good, so all that watering work.
All the watering work, it's not like playing on concrete.
Where did the high school wing, Eversource, a month, 2 months, or what's?
That's a month.
So can we expect that all winter?
Yeah, I think it's, I'm trying to remember what the budget is. It's, I think it's around $13,000-$14,000, something like that, so it's pretty close. And the water one, that I'm surprised that's so low, because that's usually quarterly. But I'm not sure. And the one that says public schools, that's the alarm system. The security alarm, the school pays it, we reimburse them.
What is the source of heat for that building? Is it electric? Is it-
It's gas.
It's gas?
Gas, yeah.
Okay.
So the electric, because they don't have air conditioning, so that would not have been a big draw of power for that period.
Yeah, you want to,
So I'm wondering what the draw is
I
for,
got it.
that's a pretty big bill.
I'm pretty sure we have, I have to double check and see if we had a bill last month. I think we did. But I looked at that earlier, and I have to see what that one is, and see what if that's consistent.
I mean, if we had air conditioning, I could see it,
Right.
it might be up
Yeah,
there, but
it is
no
high.
air conditioning, I'm wondering what the draw is, and if so, maybe something's not very efficient. Should be looked at.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, I'll check into that.
And also on the upper level, have they completed the offices? In other words, are they being used as offices?
No, as far as I know, they're not.
Are they still drawing electricity while they?
Yeah, it could be
renovate the
lights,
office?
whatever up there, the guy's working up there.
Yeah.
But I'll make a note to check the Eversource bill for GHS.
How long are we responsible for the science wing?
I haven't been told when we're gonna not be anymore. I don't know yet when that is. They'll tell us, I guess, but I think for probably at least another year, I guess. Yeah.
I just had one more under Parks Maintenance, Albright Electric, 3850.
That was John Jagelski's request. That was the lights that we had to replace in the parking lot at Bittner. And there were, it wasn't just light bulbs, there were fixtures that were like rotted out, so they had to get replaced, and we replaced them with LED lights, which are more expensive.
But they last.
But they're gonna last, yeah, and our electric bills should be go down a little bit because of that.
Right.
So, and the town is doing a study now of energy efficiency. They've had several different contractors coming through the building here in Town Hall and all the town buildings, and they've been looking at parking lots, and they're gonna be recommending LED lights, so we're kinda ahead of the curve, at least for those. They're still, we didn't replace all of them with LEDs, you can probably see the difference up there, but there were the fixtures that needed to be replaced. It didn't make sense to put these
No.
same kind of light bulbs. If we're gonna do it, let's go LED,
Do it
so
right,
they
yeah.
cost a little bit more, but in the long run, it'd be the right thing to do.
Any other parking lot lights that we would have to replace, can we just replace the bulbs for the LED, or do you need LED fixtures?
I think it's a different fixture. Up there, it definitely was, and I
Up
think
there.
here, these are
Sodium based.
sodium vapor, yeah, and so when these get replaced, it'll be
So
LED, it'll be new.
fixtures.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think it would make sense to finish the job at Bittner by installing all LED lights, so it's consistent with lighting.
Yeah, I was kind of holding off, because with the study they're doing, I'm thinking that I think they may be looking for a grant to help implement some of that. This we had to do, because the lights weren't working, so we had to replace them. And so, the other ones, they had already put the other bulbs in, the sodium vapor bulbs up there. And we thought about that, but because they're doing this study, I thought, let's wait, because it may get paid for by somebody else. But the ones we had to do, we did them.
Who would be responsible for Guilford Lakes and the tennis court?
I think they're looking at Board of Ed buildings too, I think, yeah.
Would they look at the tennis court?
I would think so, yeah.
That was all
Yeah.
right.
Because
Yeah.
there's lights.
Because they asked me about like basketball courts, tennis courts, I did tell them the high school, Lakes, high school,
Oh, good.
Adams, the police department.
There's a noticeable difference, because there's some poles that have an LED and a sodium vapor side by side. And the brightness of the LED is significant, but it also concentrates the light downward, rather than the sodium vapor, which just spreads it out. And so, it really needed to be necessary to be completed up at Bittner Park, because the parking lots were dark.
Yeah.
And especially with fall sports coming in, we needed to have the light in the parking lots.
So the intent would be anything that happens to break between now and moving forward, if we ever heard that study's finished, our intent would be to replace them with the LED fixtures as we go forward.
It would make sense.
The Board of Ed has already moved forward with LEDs, because Guilford Lakes, I live near Guilford Lakes, and they had replaced all the parking lots, light bulbs or fixtures with LEDs. And it's amazing the difference for the quality of light that's being shown on the grounds.
But then why didn't they do the tennis court?
They probably didn't have it on their work list. There is a bulb
Yes.
there is a bulb that's out over on the tennis courts.
Yes.
Yeah. Over by the
That's been
backstop
since
by
last year.
the softball field. That corner, that light, I just drove by tonight and it was out.
And the outdoor basketball court at Adams, is that run by the Board of Education?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think there was a light bulb out last year, though, wouldn't that get replaced at the Guilford Lakes? Because you were talking about.
Yes, well, it was in the front,
Yeah.
that was by the
So
parking
it's
lot.
another one, though.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's another one, it's the
Yeah.
one that's in the back corner.
Which is they took the responsibility for that, so I can just let them know there's another one out.
Yes.
And that's in the tennis court, in the back part?
Tennis court by the softball backstop, back corner.
Just a question on our goals here, like under building maintenance, there's two for Cintas that are exactly the same. Russell Hall, there's
Cintas.
4, two the same, then two the same. Is it just the same materials being ordered? Can we not order them once?
Those are what, restaurant supplies?
Oh, yeah, I looked at that.
$6.49.
They're gloves, they're the rubber gloves. I specifically asked that question of Bonnie, and
Yeah.
there were different dates on the bill, so, you ordered them, then had to get more, and
Yeah.
it's not a duplicate.
Same with Centus at the top, or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 3 that
And
are the same.
and then on the second page, park maintenance, under Concans, there's 2 exactly the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, they're
Perfect.
$69 each, and some of them they group together. We have like, I don't know, 11 or 12 units out. So they might have, said, okay, one of them's, the one at Calvin Lee, they specified on the bill, or the 288, they might have listed, Chavich Island, Nut Plain, whatever, they list them. So I always look at it and make sure it's not a duplicate, and so those are all correct.
So we call them and we tell them we want the cans removed at a certain location? Like the one I'm thinking of is up at Lake Quannapock.
That's-
We have 3 cans up there right now.
Oh, you're talking about trash barrels?
Trash barrels.
Okay, yeah, these are porta johns you guys are talking about. Concans is porta johns.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, my apologies.
Yeah, different kind of can.
Sounds
Do they take the cans away at, do they take the trash cans at Quantified come bad weather?
Fall.
Yeah,
Fall.
in the fall, we
Fall.
take them, like, for the winter, we take them off all the fields, there's no need to have them there, and we leave a few at some of the, like, at Jacobs, we leave some, because people still go down there and have lunch, use the playground.
Yeah.
But where we don't need them anymore, we take them out.
When you're compiling the list of LEDs for our parks, you want to include Long Hill Park on it, because there are 2 electric poles there
Yeah.
that don't have the LEDs.
Right.
And John, I think we started to act on this last month when you weren't here, and just so the commission knows, John brought it to Rick's attention. And John's been following it along, if not on the phone with Rick, then through memos and correspondence, so.
Just nagging.
We got it done pretty quick.
Yes, we did. See, it helps the man, doesn't it?
Nagging's not a bad thing
You
sometimes.
only have to tell me it was.
But if we get all LEDs up at Bittner, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
It would be consistent.
So we have a motion, we have to.
We need to vote on
second,
it.
we have to vote.
We do. If there aren't any further questions, all in favor of the motion for the September 2016 bills or expenditures, excuse me, in the amount of $133,348.90, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Department reports, agenda item 6. There should not be very long reports, Rick, right?
Considering we just had a meeting.
Yeah.
Not much time has gone by here.
It was only a question.
I don't know, it was too long ago. I'll only just highlight a couple things. One is, in number 8, program, we, I think it's in Ellen's report maybe too, that we have the Fall Festival, October Festival scheduled for this Saturday, but right now the weather looks a little iffy, they're talking about maybe a big storm coming up the coast, and so we're gonna keep an eye on that. Ellen and I just talked today, and other staff, Sean and Corey, we're gonna start contacting some of the, like the band and any group that we have to pay, when do they have to know if we're gonna cancel? And we wanna make sure we cancel it far enough in advance so we don't get stuck paying something if we don't have it. And if it's bad weather, it just would be canceled. We can't move it in here because there's another big event going on in here anyways over the weekend. Not ours, but somebody who's renting a room downstairs, so we don't have a place to go. So, but, we were gonna have the disc golf
Right.
demonstration. We have a band called Charades playing, the moon bounces for the kids, I think tattoo or face painting. Trying to think, Candy in a Haystack We did that, started that last year, we just put a bunch of hay bales down and, throw candy in there, and kids, find them and eat them. But anyway, the staff have, a lot of good activities planned for Saturday, so I hope we get to have it. Yeah,
Is there a makeup date?
there isn't,
There's not.
no.
So how would it be announced for the public then?
We put it on Facebook, and the towns, on our website, yeah. Message on the answer machine, we call the police, fire department, because they get calls sometimes about programs, and same thing every concert in the summer, if it was iffy, I'd always let them know it's on the greens, because they do get calls sometimes. So we communicate every way we can.
Just a question, Corey and Sean are awesome, seen them working, we bug them every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Any word on receptionists? Anyone hired?
No, actually, that's why I didn't put it on here. Well, so where we are with that is, the one person we were interested in hiring took a full-time job somewhere else. So I just today, there were interviews at the library for a same level position last week, and they're having second interviews tomorrow, I think. But I met with Sandy Ruoff. She gave me 9 applicants I went through the applications. I chose 9 that might be interested in this position here. So I'm hoping to set up interviews next week for that. But I've got to see who she hires, because I can't
Right, no, you
go with
can't.
one that she's already going to select, but, so I think we'll know tomorrow. I think she's at her second round is tomorrow.
So we are gonna hire one part-time?
Yes, yeah.
Just double checking, make sure I haven't changed that.
No.
I just have a follow-up on the Cox. How's Cox looking right now? I mean, we've had still
I
limited
can address it
amount
now
of
or
rain.
under, it's on here.
Oh, okay,
Agenda.
I'm sorry. I saw it was on here too, so I'll wait till.
Okay.
Number 6, about the sod field at the high school. And how that's coming in, is it maybe an irrigation issue?
Oh, no, it's not. It's an issue where there's a little bit of a berm lip almost. That's not really a berm. The water's not running off the field. There's a little edge to it, so it traps the water there on the whole south side, the whole length. And the grass is actually dying out there. It's off the field, it's not on it, but it's right off the field, but it's like where the players' benches are. I was just up there again today, actually, looking at it, and Tony and I went last week. And so I spoken with the representative from Malone and McBroom, the designers of the project. They've talked to the construction firm who did it, the field, who built the field. They're supposed to come and correct it. So the problem is it's wet on one side, and I wouldn't say it's a design issue, it's a construction issue. There's just, the way it was finished, should have been sloped a little bit better for the water to run off. It's getting trapped, there's nowhere to go. And somebody had suggested, well, can you just cut the irrigation down on that zone? Well, you can't, because the zones run laterally across the field. It's not one separate zone there, so it has nothing to do with the way we're watering, it's just the way it's set up. It's just not going anywhere. So they're gonna have to, grade it, and then they're gonna reseed that area. And actually, I'm glad I caught Tony today, because tomorrow we're seeding the rest of the field, which, we seed field, we're overseeding, because even though it's a sodded field, it's new. I mean, our area's getting worn out already, because it's football, and football's the most turf-damaging sport. And so we're in the process of seeding a lot of fields right now, and that's one we were gonna hit. But I told them, don't do that section, because I just got the confirmation today that they're gonna come back and fix that. So we're not gonna seed that area. We're also hoping next week, I'm waiting to get approval from Town Hall for the contractor, but we wanna deep tine aerate a lot of fields, and that's one of them. With the deep tine aeration, you go down 10 to 12 inches, poke holes, and that helps also water drain down through the soil better. It's always recommended on a new sod field to do that anyway, because it's got thick thatch, and we want to get that water down in a little better. And so that'll help on that field, but the water's getting stuck because it's got nowhere to go. It's just a little edge to it. I hope within the next week, because, I mean, they got to seed it pretty soon. We're getting,
Yeah.
we're
That window's
mid to
gonna
late
close.
October is the end of seeding season.
And you also said that you checked the areas around the new synthetic turf field, and you have banks. Is that another problem of mowing?
Yeah, it was, yeah, some very steep areas. Tony and I looked at that, and some of it's gonna be, you know,
Again,
having a
have we
weed whack.
asked them to put in something that we, you know, some sort of ground cover so we don't have to be mowing?
Yeah,
every
we,
day,
we
something
may end
else?
up having to do that, because it's very, it's tight, it's steep,
We can't put
Well, I
it
think
on
rather than
forever.
May, I think we have to sort of insist that this
Yeah.
gets done.
yeah.
Safety concern has always been discussed with that since the get-go.
Yeah, in fact, we met
were waiting to
with-
see how they were gonna manage it, but
We
we
met
can't
with our
put them at
insurance-
We're
risk.
mowing it and
Yeah,
we shouldn't.
we don't wanna do
The
something
other
after
bank,
something
by the high
happens.
school JV field that's very, I'm sorry, I can't talk tonight, very steep slope. We met with our insurance representative out there, and he said to find out what is the slope, what percent, I should find out it's 50%, and it's like that, it's steep. And then what is the manufacturer recommendation of the mowers that we have? And if the manufacturer recommendation is no more than 30%, for example, you can't mow it when it's 50%. So I found the slope, and Tony's trying to get the information from the manufacturer of the recommendation for the mowers. We
Alright.
don't know that yet.
All right, well, let's do that for all of this, just so
Yeah.
that we get a handle on it.
Yeah.
Plus, pretty quick, because we don't wanna have anything happen.
I mean, among other reasons, it's a critical safety
It's the
issue.
same
Yeah.
issue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, critical.
There's still a construction phase, so it's probably easier to address that
Now,
now than
exactly.
next spring or
Yeah,
summer.
I mean, they've already seeded it, but I mean, it's just a question of can they do something up, put a ground cover or something, because it's gonna be hard to mow. Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me, Rick, Tony Anicelli's monthly report for September 16th.
We kinda covered.
A lot of it's repetitive of what you were saying,
Mhm.
but
Yeah. And I guess the main thing, you know, again, now they're seeding and fertilizing a lot of the fields. This is the time of year to do that.
how about the third bullet from the end?
The banner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that last month, or 2 weeks ago, we were asked to, the banner that used to go across Route 1, doesn't happen anymore, there's something wrong with the poles or something, and so now they're going on the basketball court at the police station, so exit 58 there, you know, that area. And we've been given,
You see the basketball courts on the right?
yeah,
okay.
yeah. We've been given the task to, it's our responsibility now to put those banners up for people advertising their events. And I was told it'd only be until mid to late October, and I think that they're looking into like a digital type sign that will go somewhere, I don't know where it's gonna go. but-
Temporary.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, we're the Department of Parks and Cooperation.
It said it's swapped weekly. Did we swap that with another department in terms of cooperation?
No, it's,
Just the sign gets swapped.
the sign goes about every week or 10 days or so, we have to replace it.
I can't believe it's the best place to put a sign, though, because there are a lot of
Yeah.
people, I never get on the highway there.
Right, yeah. well,
When you're getting on the highway, you're not reading.
You're not, no.
Yeah, seems that way.
So, you know what I think what happened is the groups that were already committed to town, P and Z approves the signs, that's who.
And so they had to put them.
They already committed to these, and so they had to go someplace.
Right.
So I think anything new after that, I
They go somewhere
think
else, or-
October 17th may be the last date, something like that. But I think that they want to honor the commitment that was already made, so they asked us, can you put them up over there, so we do it.
Rick, on Anthony's report there, second to last bulletin, says poison ivy sprayed at a few areas in town. Do you know which areas got
I
hit?
don't, I know
Okay.
one of them's here,
Oh, here?
right out here, was an
Okay.
area we did.
An area that should be addressed is the, over at Lakes at the softball field, that whole hedge that runs behind the spectators and the backstop. Whenever I do a game up there, I tell mothers, keep your little kids out of that. But don't let them touch that green stuff, because
The problem there, we have to check on the ruling.
it's
about-
pretty intense over there.
But technically, we can't use any kind of herbicides on school grounds, even if it's poison ivy, you know. However, if it's considered to be really almost like epidemic, like the ball's always going in there and kids are gonna be getting it, I mean, we can look at that, but I'd have to check with the state statute on that. But technically, we can't use any kind of herbicide, pesticide in school grounds younger than high school. High school age, we can use anything.
Rather than let it flourish and grow, you know,
Yeah.
it has to be.
Right. Well, sometimes
That
you
in
say you
itself
gotta
is a
go
hazard.
and pull it out.
Well, the reason why it's not being, attacked with any herbicide, and now it's flourishing even more, so it's just perpetuating itself.
And where is it, over there?
It's on the back, it's on the fence that's along the first base side of the fence that borders the property line between Guilford Lakes and the dry pond that's on the other side of it. So it pretty
Oh,
much
looks like
runs the
that.
entire length of the fence from the street, from Moffett's Road all the way to the back.
Okay.
That's a bad sign, the light doesn't work.
Yeah, really.
Poison ivy.
Have to
We'll
be
check it.
lakes here.
The Recreation Supervisor's report.
Well, probably the fourth one here, Ellen walking the businesses on the green. This is something that we do with Youth and Family Services, and so one of them is this window painting thing where groups of kids can sign up to paint the windows. So they go to the businesses to get permission to do that, and then they give, sign the kids who signed up, okay, you do Pages, you do Cilantros, or whatever, they get, Ellen and Carolyn Regan from Youth Services go and meet with the business owners to get their permission to do it. And the Scarecrow Contest, we're doing that with Chamber of Commerce. And the Spooktacular is the Halloween event we do on the green with the trunk or treat.
trunk or
We
treat,
shut
yeah.
down, with the police department's approval, we shut down the Park Street there, and then we have usually about 20, 25, I think, volunteers bring their cars, they decorate their trunks, and they bring candy for the kids, and it's a big crowd. There's always a big, big crowd. It's a costume parade, and we usually have entertainment on the stage, and,
Last year you had the bunking, the fucking
yeah.
pumpkin.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of fun. The last thing here. Ellen says she's looking into this Miller project.
Yeah, I don't know what MILA stands for, but she took the definition of, right off their website, what they are, but,
Whether we do this or not, I just want to say that I think Ellen does always look for new and interesting things
Yeah.
to bring to us, to do. Some of them get past, some of them we're not, too enthusiastic
Right.
about. But I give her credit for always looking for something new and interesting to bring to our community center.
Okay.
So whether it works or not, but I give her credit for trying.
Yeah.
I just have a question that's not on the list here, but I was questioned this weekend about by another town resident about the accessibility of using the science center for the machinery that's in there,
The weight room?
the weight room,
Mhm.
and I didn't really have a cohesive answer to give them. What is the most current cohesive answer that I can share with somebody right now of the two rooms that are available? Because I know that the sports department of the Board of Education uses the weight room significantly amount of time.
basically exclusively.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
and, well, that was the word I was trying to avoid, but,
Well,
but at the same time, he did ask about the other room, what we call the cardio room,
Mhm.
as to what is the accessibility for town residents. for
Right
that.
now, none. So
Okay.
the bottom line is, it's used from, the school is using it starting at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
The wrestling team is there scheduled at 5:30 in the morning. And then the phys ed classes have asked for it from 7:30 to 2, and then from 2:30 to 7 or 8 are different sports groups. So it's all, hockey's in there, wrestling, basketball, baseball, I don't know if tennis is in there yet. The crew team is in there. And the requirement is, there's a form they fill out that we have, and on that form, they have to certify that they have the proper certifications for weightlifting.
Okay.
So just somebody from the public just can't go in there and say, hey, I want to go use it. I did have a request from a booster group wanting to go in, like a parent group, can we just go in and supervise? And I said, no, you can't. It's got to be somebody who's certified in AED, CPR, first aid, and is capable of supervising or teaching weight training. So that's who, it's got to be somebody with those qualifications that are in there. So basically, what's happening is we are reserving it out, just like we reserved picnic pavilions at Jacobs Beach or rooms here. We're not using it. Well, we did in the summer. We had a program there in the summer. yeah, our strength and conditioning program that we offered in the summer for the kids. Both, yeah, yep, so we did that. But it's a facility we've been asked to be responsible for, and so we are, we reserve it for groups who want to use it, just like we reserve pavilions at Jacobs Beach.
Okay, so public access.
But the difference is, somebody's got to be certified, you don't have to be certified to use the pavilion at Jacobs, but they have to have the certification, and they have to show evidence of that on the application. So they give me a copy of their first aid card, CPR card, and so on, and we have that on file.
So I guess we're the booking. Yeah, we've had one program, and we're responsible for the utilities. We meaning the Department of Parks and Recreation. It's the plain unvarnished truth.
It's ours, but it isn't.
Okay, moving on.
No, because people think,
Well, I mean, that's,
I know.
that was the,
I
that was
know.
the level of
It's correct.
questioning that was given
It is.
to
But
me
it's
by
correct.
two.
It's a correct
We were gonna be able to use it.
Okay.
It's correct.
But it is being used a lot, and, you know, and it's great, there are high school age kids using it, and that's, if we have a part of that, because we're, you know, there's not a lot we do for the high school ages, we are providing that space, and you have people supervising it. I think it's a good thing, there's, you know, a lot of kids using it, and, you know, we have a part in that, so I think it's not bad.
and lastly, the report of Terry Buckley for the senior program.
Well, there's a lot there, you know, just 2 weeks ago, you had a similar report.
Already knew Italian stuff. Good news. He had classes. He said yes. So he couldn't continue, so we have a new Italian teacher.
And Terry didn't have any of the September numbers yet, because, you know, this went out before the end of September.
Right.
And so she'll have this for the next month, for the, you know, meals and Meals on Wheels and bus trips.
There's a lot going on.
Let's move on to agenda item 7, report of commission or staff representatives to commissions or committees. Rick, A, Standing Fields Committee, I believe they met last week.
Yeah, you know, biggest conversation still is about the Cox project. I can address it now if you want, or it's under unfinished business. I guess, want me to just do it now? Just, okay.
Yeah, would you please?
So it's moving along. I'd say it's about half sodded the north field. We're seeding the south field. The north field's one to the right when you're going up. I was up there again today, and I'd say it's about half sodded. The south field's been seeded, and the seed's actually germinating. Seeded it September 26th. And it was just dirt Thursday, and there's grass coming up now. So it's coming. And in the next few days, the irrigation should be up and running. He's got to connect the new pump and everything that's in the little pump house there. And that should be happening soon. You know, I don't want to predict he's going to be done with the project next week. I mean, I don't know that. A lot of it depends on weather, you know, but right now, the weather's been great for him to work there.
Yeah.
And it's coming out good. It's going to be a good field.
Good.
2 fields. And the other thing, I guess, just for the Fields Committee is, I think I might have mentioned this 2 weeks ago, I think, the little issue with the baseball field at the high school with, again, a lot of compaction along the third base side, between the dugout and the field. And water just sits there, comes down the hill, kind of sits there. The engineering firm has addressed that somewhat. They've channeling the water a little different way, so it's helping, but it's getting really worn out. And so there's a proposal now that I think was presented to the High School Building Committee last week, that Paul Schmidt went to that meeting. And the proposal, I think, is to make almost like a stone dust, like a warning track, you know, by the backstop, but come all the way to the dugouts. Because what's happening now, the ground is getting so compacted, and also for the guys going in and out of the dugout, there's like a little divot. When it rains, there's a puddle there, there's mud. So they're suggesting making that all stone dust, that whole area there, so that hopefully will help eliminate that. They looked at that option, they looked at synthetic turf, they looked at clay.
Well, actually, they did that over at Adams, over at the Little League fields several years back. They helped tremendously.
Okay, so it does, it's not
That's
something,
where-
it's not just a little quick stopgap.
Oh, no,
I
this
mean,
should
it
be
will work.
kind of long-term, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's my point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which department pays this?
It's part of the high school project. Yeah. Yeah, it's not us.
For once.
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
7B, Rick, Green Committee.
Yeah, they met last week, and, you know, they're working with Tony and about top dressing, fertilizing, seeding the center area of the green. So we're working on that. Jerry Silbert, who's the chairman of that committee, has also contacted a contractor to do a certain part of it. There's something called liquefied aeration, which is something new I hadn't really heard of before, and we don't have material or equipment to do that. So there's a contractor that he's talking with, and the Green Committee's willing to pay for that, to try it out in that area, to see if that helps relieve the compaction there. We'll give it a shot and see how it
Yeah.
goes, and, you know, they're gonna pay for it, and why not? We'll try it
Yeah,
out.
see what happens.
So that'll be happening within the next couple of weeks, those repairs to the center area of the green there.
Okay.
7C, Land Acquisition Commission. Will be no meeting this October. And the next meeting will be in November, first Thursday in November. Nothing to report. Item 8, unfinished business. Section A, Lake Quantapug weed control.
Really, nothing new. I did speak with Greg Bugby last week. He's,
How about his report?
yeah, he hasn't done any extra. He said he just came in from the lakes. I mean, he goes and does lakes all over the state, and so, you know, he does similar things in other lakes like he did with us, and so now he's done with all that. He's coming inside now, and he said now he's getting ready to write the report. But overall, again, he said the result was good of the chemical control, the benthic barriers that we did on the beach area. He said he scuba dived there with his wife. They went in there to check it out. Nice date, I guess you go check out the weeds in the lake. And,
How much of a view, but,
yeah. And he said it was impressive. It was really came out good.
good. So we'll do this again next year, for sure.
We'll do it again, and
All
then we
right,
started
perfect.
talking about for budget for next year, what should we do next? And,
Yeah.
you know, I know that Joan Stepbacker was talking about the south end of the lake with the lily pads, and she has spoken with him also, and he's saying, that, yeah, maybe that's what we gotta look at next year. And have to get permits for that, even if we want to still use some of the money we have left to go after maybe another treatment of the weeds that we already did, we gotta reapply again. So he's gonna help us get that going soon, so we're ready to go in the spring.
Okay.
Greg's a great resource, you
He
know,
is.
and he lives in town, he's done so much to help us out.
Definitely.
8B, repairs and refurbishing of the community center.
Nothing new in the last 2 weeks.
Last two, okay. Are the rugs on your agenda at all, at some point? I was astounded to learn at the last meeting that these rugs have been here since
I-
1993.
I would like to bring that up when we do our budget.
Good, please do.
I would like to do
Please
that,
do.
please. So,
Yeah.
Good quality rug.
Yeah.
it's time, but I think we need to address that when we're doing our budget.
And one thing we are doing is the Stamatic, the duct cleaning started today.
Oh, good.
We had that in the budget for cleaning all the
Yep.
duct work. That's gonna take probably about a week. In fact, they're gonna probably wanna come next Monday, which is Columbus Day, and we'll get the building open for them, and they'll be able to finish it up. Because on that day, they don't have to work around anybody. Right now,
Something that will stay, as a maintenance item every so many years, however.
I think probably every 3 to 5 years.
Because I think it was kind of overlooked or something, right? It hasn't been
Yeah.
done in a long time.
Yeah.
8C, Jacobs Beach Boardwalk Extension.
Nothing really new. I spoke to Will the other night, actually, when we went to the awards, and just touched base with him. He said he's just working on the design. So we're good.
Okay.
Can I just go back to one thing I forgot to mention? The repairs and refurbishing outside, Steve Neidorf, the facilities guys who helped us, they painted all the front rails here.
Yeah, that's
That was just done last week, so that's one thing that got completed. Yeah.
Oh, yes, still on 8B, just one brief report. I believe it was the women of the Leeds Island Garden Club at the west end of this building, completely manicured is probably the best word, manicured that bench and all of the area
Yeah.
around it, and there might have been an article in the Courier about it as well, but I think that's another example of community helping
Yeah.
community. you know.
Mhm.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's actually the June Ford Memorial Bench, which she was a member of the Leeds Island Garden Club a number of years ago. They put that bench in. And so they'd asked us about just some cleanup, and yeah, they had 3 or 4 of the ladies out there doing that last week.
Because I was looking at the plaque on I couldn't read it, I guess it was weather beaten.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you remember that?
No.
I remember June Ford.
Someday.
Yes, she was. She was a sweetheart. Okay.
8E, Guilford Lakes Golf Course. You want to start us off, Rick?
He did that already.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that with we talked about that when we did the standing fields.
It's okay, Judy.
Did you want to be here for that?
I hope we can do anything we can to help them out, because it's such a nice little course. And I hate to see it just end up not doing well because they can't keep it going. That's my sentiments.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we all share that.
I think we
The
agree.
question is going to be who?
How?
And how?
How?
And when? Rick?
John's picking me up.
Okay.
I've had my outing.
Thanks for being
Have a
here.
good day.
Good to see you.
Oh.
Keep up the good work.
Next time you want a hug, just ask. You don't have to go to hospital.
Believe me, I would not wish it upon my worst enemy.
Thanks, Judy.
Okay, so what about the golf
Well,
course?
so as far, well, if I could start with disc golf, I mean, we're still trying to get a date. I was now led to, they said to meet with, or get a hold of Ted Ty to set a date to do a trial run of a 9-hole disc
Oh,
golf
nice.
event. And so I tried getting a hold of Ted. I just got an email today that that's the direction to go. And so I put a call into him, and I didn't hear back from him by the end of the day. So we're going to try to set up a date. I mean, the goal was to be able to have a date established, so if we do have our fall festival this weekend, where we're having a disc golf demonstration, and people get a chance to try it, we say, hey, look at now, on such and such a date, we're going to have an event at the golf course, you can have a 9-hole, 18-hole, whatever it's going to be, tournament. And our expectation would be that not only would it be for the local people here, but the Ben Seibel, who's the disc golf pro, that he would also promote it amongst the disc golf organization and get people to come down to this tournament. There'd be a fee, the money would go toward the golf course, it would help, with, help them with that. And, when we mentioned to George Page, the chairman of the Golf Commission, that we'd be willing to promote it, whatever has to be done, we'll have staff that help run it. I would expect, Ben would be instrumental in helping running it also. I mean, he does these things, and kind of make it happen. Try it out, and if it shows that it's a real positive and popular thing, then we try to encourage the Golf Commission to make it permanent. I think there'd be little cost to it. I think we can get the baskets, I think, donated initially for a trial. So I see very little expense unless we want to come up with some prizes or something. But I'm seeing probably more of a recreational thing, give people an opportunity to get out and try it, charge whatever fee, we need to charge for the golf course use. But we need to get a date. The two approaches. One, I want to find out from Ben, whatever day we pick, there's not some other big tournament somewhere else, that we're going to get the disc golf people to come. And what's a good date on the golf course? Obviously, we don't want to schedule a day there's a big golf outing going on there. So I'm going to get that information from Ted first. When he gives me a few dates, then we'll go to Ben and say, hey, look, at what date works do you think that we can make this happen? So the goal is to have it. Yeah, that's our goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's just because we have it on our agenda now for the last couple of months, but I drive by the golf course every day, multiple times, and I've never noticed it so busy than I have since we started talking about it.
Oh, really? Well, that's good.
I'm just like, what's going on? So, it just might be that I
That's
never
good.
noticed it really before, but the parking lot always seems to be busy,
Mhm.
and it's at random times too, so.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
That's what they do with the remodeling, right? Some of the holes and some of the tee boxes that were addressed last year, so perhaps.
The golf course is in
Great shape.
fantastic shape.
It is.
I mean,
Yeah.
I walk the course occasionally, and, you know, for a par three course, it's challenging, it's, sort of like, it's not only from a challenging from a golf point, but it's challenging from a walking standpoint too. So it's a very good course. I remember, what was it, about 6, 7 years ago, was the top par three course in New England. So we do have a jewel sitting in our backyard right here. Just trying to find the right mixture of getting people to play it. The trouble is, it's not a regular golf course. It's a par three course. It's a pitch and putt course. So it limits the amount of skill level that you have, that the people that want to play.
I don't think they define it as pitch and putt though, John. They make a further distinction on that. This is, they say it's they meaning our folks. They say it's a
Right.
golf, I made the mistake too.
Well, you know,
They said North Branford is a pitch and putt. We're not, we're a golf course.
Well, you're not going to carry a driver on the course, unless it's me, because I can't hit 175 yards. But it is a par three course, and it is geared for those people who want to play a par three course. It's not going to be anywhere close to being what Lyman Orchards has on their 2 courses. But also Lyman Orchards built a par three course about 6 years ago to supplement what they had up there. So the hard part is just going to be able to create the demand in order to get people to come to the course. And we have to find a way to do that.
I
Or
think,
it's multi-use.
Is the golf course well advertised? I mean, is it well advertised at town?
I don't think so. At least from my standpoint, we do have signs, road signs on Route 77 and Route 80 that say public course. And they're just simple DOT signs, yeah.
Ground signs
Yeah.
that they use.
Yeah,
Local things.
County
Comes
or
up.
New Haven area or Guilford, shoreline area, it comes up as
It comes up.
an option.
They have a new webpage
Yeah.
with an aerial
good.
view of the golf course.
Mm.
And it looks like it was taken by a drone. And they're promoting it very well. But beginning at the end of the last calendar year, the Golf Course Commission decided to solicit some bids from some private organizations. And between January, February, and March, they did do that. They entertained a couple of organizations who take over golf courses. And that didn't bear any fruit. Although at one point, they believed that they had one golf course management company who would take it over. But then that golf course management company felt that it was in conflict with Lyman course, because they do the Lyman golf course too, so that fell through. So consequently, in the late spring, early summer this year, we were asked about it. We meaning the Parks and Recreation Commission and the department. And, we've been wrestling, a few of us, with what type of a course would it be? Not at all changing the layout of the course, but, who would staff it, what positions would staff it, what programs we'd offer, what would we do to increase the number of players. And that's been the challenging thing, because we don't have the resources. That's just, if we had the resources, that might be another thing. By resources, I mean personnel to run it, and also the equipment and everything else. I mean, as an example, our maintenance department spends its summers at all the parks here. Well, the highlight of the golf course overlaps with us. They're, April through the end of October, perhaps. You folks would know a little more than me, but that's our work time too. So how do we do that with the existing resources?
Well, one of the challenges that we have with golf right now, golf is downhill in response to the amount of people who are playing. I mean, as compared to it was 5, 6 years ago. I mean, golf courses are closing and consolidating. But at the same time, up in the Hartford area where I work, there has been a renaissance of golf courses that have come back. Manchester, Hartford, even in New Haven with Allen Golf Course coming, or Allen come back. They're 18 holes. That's the difference.
Yeah.
This is truly a specialized course, and we have to be able to find those people who want to play that course for the fee that we want to charge them. It's a great beginner's course if you're looking to how to play golf. It's great for kids to learn how to play golf on that course. But it's not going to be easy. I mean, it's just to manage it.
Well, as an example, we don't have a golf pro.
Correct.
Either on a full-time or a part-time basis.
Well, they go to the 18-hole courses, and that's their, unless you find somebody who's a retired pro who wants to work there. And,
That's an option.
And.
We don't have I don't say a dining facility, but we don't have a snack bar.
Well, no, and surprisingly, neither does Madison Country Club. Madison Country Club is one of the few country clubs in the New England that doesn't have any type of food service on premises. I mean, they do have, snacks and the like, but the idea of having a kitchen in the facility, they don't have it. But they still have a waiting list because the course is still in demand over in Madison right now.
And also versus what you mentioned, you have the hotel and other restaurants right
Right,
there.
they have, yeah,
We're right
something
next to a
right there.
school, so you can't
Yeah.
serve alcohol, you can't do certain things. So, I mean, our location,
Limited.
though it's beautiful, does present some issues as well.
Well, compared to what it was when I first moved into town, this golf course is a gem compared to the way it was.
It's a hayfield.
So
Yeah,
they've done a lot of good work there.
They've done a fantastic job resurrecting the field.
It's indisputable about the condition of the
Right.
golf course.
Yeah.
That isn't even,
But that takes work and revenue,
right,
resources.
that's indisputable. But it's all of the other things that
The
that
question is,
come
how do
into
you get
play.
it to be profitable?
Right.
That's our
the
problem.
challenge.
Right.
That's the challenge.
No, you're gonna have to listen to some marketing people about how to entice people to do this. Do you offer discount membership fees for X number of years, senior citizen discounts, youth family discounts, buy one, if I join and I bring somebody with me, does he get a discount, for X number of
I
years?
think they're doing that, John. They're making more than a good faith attempt to
To do that.
they are. And it's.
Yeah.
In fact, even I can't think of her name, but she is a member, and she's trying to start a women's league there. too.
Catherine Prevention.
I mean, that's another way of reaching out. But it's a challenge, and the question is, do we have the resources on our budget to do that? And I think we're gonna have to have some serious discussions with First Selectman and the Board of Finance, and even the commission itself. Because the way it stands now, and things never stay the same, is we're not going to be running the golf course this year. But there's an expectation that starting July 1st, 2017, we will be running it, or someone else will be running it. So we would have to be ready for that date. And in doing that, do we deprive our existing programs and services? I mean, do we in effect have to cancel programs, not have programs, to meet the needs of the golf course? And we can't do that.
Do we have access to the financials of the course as to what
We
they,
do.
okay, because it'd be interesting to see where the drain is on the operating budget, because.
Well, the biggest single line item in terms of expenditures is the position, not the personality, but the position of a golf course superintendent.
Okay.
I mean, that's, and it's public record, that's $77,000.
Well, and that is a necessity in order to keep the course looking as good as it is right now. So that's something that you can't really replace with a part-time individual or
No.
somebody who's not versed in the running of a golf course.
November, December, January, February, I don't know. I don't know.
No, but you're right. I mean, we can't just throw anybody over there and
Right.
expect the golf course to look that good.
No.
Right.
which-
Unless we find a snowbird who
which
comes up. and-
creates the problem. So, I mean, there's a
And
lot of.
the same with the Golf Pro, though, too.
Ifs here.
The same with the Pro.
And again,
Future
this is
discussions.
something that we'll have to talk about at budget time as well.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, because there's some specialized equipment that golf course can only be used at that golf course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Rick
this
has
is-
mentioned that
becomes a
to us
budgetary item as well, so.
Mark's gonna run the golf course, it's settled.
Oh, good.
Works for
I
us.
just figured that,
So-
he just said he's.
He, wait a minute, today is Monday, oh, you got the lottery ticket and you're all set. Thank you.
In theory, it's a good idea, but can it work? I don't know. I'm just saying that I'm cautiously skeptical that it can work without giving us the sufficient resources.
Well, one of the major deficits that the course does not have a driving range, and it does not have access, because that brings people in to use the facility, and then you hit your bucket of balls, and then you go play your round.
They tried to work partnerships with, say, Kleins and Madison and another golf course too, but the distance,
The distances.
The distance is going.
yeah.
Right.
When we used to run golf lessons, we work with clients, and then it'd be you know, at the end of the golf session, 5 weeks, let's say, that they'd play at the golf course. But you're right, they had to practice somewhere, and had to learn how to swing and hit the golf balls, so they, at Klein's, and then we go to the golf course for the.
Well, I don't
the
even
rest of it.
think our high school golf team plays there. I mean, they practice there, but they play their matches over at Madison Country Club, so.
Interesting. I believe for the past year, the Daniel Hand High School in Madison golf team practiced at the Guilford Golf Course.
Mhm.
I could be wrong on that, but I think they did, which is interesting. As opposed to, say, the Madison Country Club. I was always told when I lived in Madison that you have to wait 9 years. You know.
Well, they
But I don't play golf, so it didn't matter to me at all. Not in the least.
Well, talk to some of the members about Jim Calhoun when he moved into town. He couldn't get bumped up to the top of the list either. He had to wait his turn.
More discussion
All
for the
right,
future.
more to follow, yes.
More to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Rick, yes, 9B, the dog park grant, I'm sure through your efforts, we're not going to get bogged down in this by the company. It's $10,000. It's
Right.
important to the dog park, but it's,
So I passed out the letter that I sent to, the history of this is that there's on behalf of the dog park committee, we applied for the grant, our staff did.
Okay.
It was actually, it was Corey did it, in Allen. And we were notified that we would be a recipient of $10,000. The grant is, the idea is to pay for a paved walkway inside the dog park. That's what the dog park committee would like, a paved walkway inside. And so, in the grant application, there are certain requirements that our town attorney looked at that she raised some concerns about some of the requirements. One was that it looked like you had to name the dog park after the Pet Safe is the company that does this. So she if you go through, you don't have to read them all right now, but these are all points of concern that she raised looking at the requirements of the grant. And so I thought, okay, well, let me go right to the grantor, representative, find out, can you answer these? Because I assume that some of that, a lot of these questions are based on if you're starting from scratch, you're building a dog park, and they're giving you $25,000 or something for it. And they want to have, like, big part of the publicity, the Pet Safe name according to the,
Right.
it has to be in there somewhere. And so I issued the concerns or questions that our attorney had. I forwarded them to this gentleman, Justin, and said, can you answer these questions? And I assumed a lot of it had to do with it was a brand-new dog park. I told him, our park's been here since June. We're getting 35 dogs, and plus their owners at night and weekends. It's very, very active. It's been in existence for several months now, and we're not starting from scratch. You don't need his copy of the budget. It's already built. We just need money to help pay for the walkway. And basically he said, yeah, everything's
Don't worry
good.
about it.
There's no problem. So I think that, I think I'm suggesting that if the commission approves this, we encourage, Joe needs to sign the grant application. I'm sorry, we've already gotten the grant. He just signed some paperwork to accept it. But again, the town attorney raised some of these questions. I think we got the answers to the questions. I don't think there's anything that's, well, those, yeah, and I don't know, she just said there were a lot of issues with the indemnity part of it. I don't know what they were.
She didn't specify what the indemnity issue was.
No, but,
Well, would that have been a problem whether or not we received the grant?
Well, is that gonna stop it or hold it up? I don't know.
So would you bring this back to the town attorney for review? So
well, I think she has said it's up to the commission and the selectmen now.
that,
So,
well, not really, if there are still some concerns that may not be answered adequately. I think having her blessing on whether she has a sense that these answers answer the questions and concerns that she was raising, that's really, that's out of our scope.
I mean, we can accept all of those provisions, Rick. But we can't speak for that provision on the indemnity.
And the indemnity,
No,
that's,
we can't.
that's the
If- if
question.
If the first
Yes.
selectman wants to accept it on that basis, that would be up to him to do that, not.
Yes, with our blessing.
Yeah.
right.
I'm not comfortable having it brought back to us, we can't
No.
answer that.
No, we shouldn't be. That's what.
Yeah, because again, her response was there are unacceptable indemnity and release provisions. I don't know what they
But they
are.
weren't specified, so we
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Those
So
would have to be
if,
cleared up.
I guess, what we're, I don't know, from I think, we're fine with this as long as the town attorney is. I mean, they don't have to bring it back to us again, but as long as she's,
Yeah, that's what I'm
But-
saying.
Have to
Bring
bring
it
it
back
Yeah,
to
but she
her.
isn't fine with it. That's the issue. It has to be fine between
her,
and first selectman.
yes, and that's what I'm saying. If
Yeah,
it's
we're-
fine,
we're
when they
sat-
get it to the point where they're fine, we're okay, they don't have to bring it back to us.
Right.
That's what I'm,
That's
think I'm
exactly
trying to
right.
say.
Yeah. Yeah.
We would approve it and support it, given the town attorney's okay with this first selectman, that the issues that the town attorney raised have been adequately addressed and answered to her satisfaction.
You could say, we resolved with the vendor points, all the points except for that final one.
So the only thing that they're asking from us is just a little bit of recognition of the fact that they had granted money to us. I mean, we don't have to rename the park, we don't
No.
have to put a big signage on
A
there.
little sign that says.
Contributed
it
by-
Contributed to the walkway.
Well, just like we have inside the park, though.
Right.
We're gonna have those signs.
Just like the benches there, whoever paid for a bench, their name's on the bench, and why not? If someone's giving $10,000, you put a little plaque on it saying,
entitled to that.
Right,
fine.
I would
Right.
say,
Yeah, that's fine.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I would pursue this as far as we
All
can.
we're doing is adding a walkway, I don't see where we're changing anything.
and that's it.
Is this walkway considered handicap accessible walkway?
That's one of the
And that's
points.
the point?
That's one of the
Is to
points.
have that ability to
Handicap.
put that in there, so handicapped people can also.
Or people with a physical mobility that
Right.
don't have a recognized handicap, or
Right.
someone who might have
So
a
it goes
broken leg
basically
but wants to walk their dog,
Yeah.
or somebody who wants to exercise.
More
in there.
accessibility.
So it goes from the parking lot to,
No, it's within
it is within.
of the larger of the
Okay,
two,
got it.
around the perimeter of it. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, how would it even change anything? I mean, we already okayed everything about
Yeah,
the
but
park.
attach the guy's concerns, Rick. I mean, his response to your concerns still. When you send it to Joe,
Yeah. All right, so I'll make a note, the commission supports the grant, resolve all points of the vendor except number 8, because we don't know what those points are.
It has to be
Yeah.
clear.
Right.
Yeah.
These responses need to be now vetted through the town attorney.
That's between the two, right?
And as long
And
as
that's
they're happy,
between the
we're okay.
attorney and the
Absolutely.
first selectman.
And then what about maintenance? Like anything, you have to maintain the sidewalk that's in the dog park.
Yeah, well. So far, the majority of any maintenance has been done by the volunteers. And so I mentioned last meeting, they're becoming quite a weed issue in the little dog park. And, we can't spray it, with anything, and, we're not manpower to go and pull all these hundreds and hundreds of weeds in there. So, they're gonna try to set up a work party, just like they did when they built the park, to get people to come in and, if they get 20 people in there, in an hour, they can have all the weeds out of there.
So say snow removal in the winter.
Yeah, snow removal.
Walk area would be
Well, so
done
one thing that will
by
change,
now.
that park is, that Nut Plains Park has always been locked in the winter. We locked the gate. We're gonna have to keep that open now And we will have to plow at least, an area of the parking lot for people to go in and use it. Shoveling, I don't think we're gonna shovel the walkway around it in the
So
winter.
that would be something that the
If
users
they
would
want
do.
it, or
They
you
could
just,
use
the
shovels,
winter,
leave
just
their-
don't use it. That part of it, I mean.
We're gonna
you
need
know.
some signage to say use at your own risk, or,
But the walkway?
no, the park during the wintertime.
Well, it's like that
Well,
now.
how's it make difference?
I mean, there's
Okay.
there's no
Okay.
supervision now.
No supervision now, what would
Well,
be?
you just think about too, like ice
Ice-
now
ice
on-
is ice, you know, people see
on
ice
sidewalks
and-
now, that's a
Well,
whole
but
different
mud,
situation than ground.
it gets mud, you slip on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just look at ice as
You just don't wanna have a lot of-
Yeah.
Well, see, yeah, I mean, that's a valid point, because, we'd probably be a little reluctant to put a lot of salt, ice melt down.
Ice melt would be horrible.
On the brick to go in there, because now the dog's paws, they lick it, and, so I think that,
Yeah, there is some.
yeah, right.
She's been very, very cooperative
Yeah.
on that whole
Mhm.
process.
And then we have some ideas of what they would like.
Dog-friendly ice
Yeah.
melt.
Yeah, there is, Catherine's right, there is something that's out there.
They think about that day and night, and they're really great about it.
Their
Yeah.
focus is the safety.
But
They
this
have
is one of the
meeting-
most
they have meetings there on a
successful
regular
things
basis.
that happen.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
A lot of people are using it, a lot of people like it,
Oh.
it's been great.
It's really, it's not
They did a
unusual for there to be
fabulous job.
30 dogs up there on a given day. In fact, our park ranger told me one night, he was going to lock up, it was dark, and there were 6 people still in there with their dogs. It was dark, it was a Saturday night, and then when he went to open it one Saturday morning at 6:15, 2 cars were following him right in to go in and use it when he was opening it.
Build it and they will come.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so if we build a place for disc golf,
They
people
will
will
come.
come.
Indeed, they
You know, I
will.
have to say, the disc golf, from the research that I had done, because I had approached you, before we were talking about this, that it really is a very cutting-edge activity that is becoming very, very popular. And while there are some facilities in Connecticut, there is nothing that really is on the shoreline
Right.
that would, so we could draw a big amount of people from a large, circumference
Mhm.
to service that.
I think it's considered cool for like younger, teenage, middle school aged, and older.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
And older.
30s.
And it could encourage them to play the regular
Yeah.
golf. too. That's part of-
Exactly.
Really, that's part of the synergy of that. It's-
Yeah, the guy
It's like a
Dan
feeder
tells-
program, only.
The demographic is 18 to 35, that's the biggest age group
Yeah.
for playing disc golf. Well, you can.
That's the age
We could change the, we could,
Change the
the
demographic.
curve can change down here. I would do it,
I would do it.
yeah.
I would try it.
Oh,
I
I'm
would
there.
golf, I play disc golf.
I'm signing up.
Hey, as an old
I mean,
frisbee
if I
player,
could,
sure.
if I weren't busy this Saturday, I'd be down there. So I do think we need to keep that in the back of our minds, though, as we go forward.
Yeah.
Keep what in the back of our minds, Rose?
Someplace that we could set up disc golf.
Yeah.
Oh, we have options, yeah. But our first commitment is to the golf course, though.
Oh, yes, no.
Yep,
Just-
you're right.
Just saying, in the back of our minds, let's not forget it.
I was kidding when I, Rose, when I said what, I was kidding.
Make a motion to adjourn then?
Well,
No,
John has a point.
Oh, you do.
Well, no, I mean, Catherine,
Catherine says, should we make a motion that we approve the
Oh.
grant,
the forwarding of the grant.
the forwarding of the grant to the
Board of-
selectmen, provided that the town attorney is okay, and he is okay with the liability issue?
Or any other
Or
responses
Any
that were
Any
given.
modification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Rick's gonna hate me
Thank you,
when I do
Catherine.
this. I just have a punch list of things,
wait, wait.
since I haven't been here for the
Oh,
two.
second.
Motion, yes, okay.
Just call me something, I can take care of it.
I know, but I haven't been, I've been out of town for a while. Lake Quantipoc, there's still swimming buoys out there, marking the
Yeah,
swimming lanes.
just the corners.
Are they gonna stay there all winter, or?
Yeah, well, usually we just put the little white marker buoys up there, and I think the lifeguard just didn't take the tall ones out, and I gotta debate
Okay.
if we're gonna leave them in or not.
The parking lot, has swales in it. Are we gonna let that go until springtime?
Public Works usually comes in with their grader in the spring, and all the gravel parking lots, they grade them for us.
Okay. The high school crew has their trailer parked up there. Is that gonna stay there all
They're,
winter?
they have a program that's going on this fall. They're
Okay.
still using it.
All right. Bittner Park, there's some sidewalk heaving, or, there are definitely some raised areas, especially around the outfield fence.
Right.
Is that
The
something?
asphalt one, you mean, or the
No, it's a
sidewalk?
concrete.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
actual concrete.
Right.
Because I know we've smoothed down some of the ones here at the
Right, right.
recreation center. Is that something that we can work on?
Yeah, well, that's actually this
Maybe
facilities
asphalt
department does that with us.
No, these are the
Sidewalk.
concrete
That's what
sidewalks
I-
where the
that-
old
that's what-
playground used to be.
Yeah.
There's some, definitely some heaving in the sidewalks there.
We'll check that.
Okay. Little League begged us to put in a soda machine up there. Are we gonna take that out?
That's theirs, actually. Well, they paid to have it put in.
So we have to talk to Little League about that.
Yeah. Well, is it not working, or?
No, it's just that I don't know, I haven't seen anybody ever use it, I mean, in over a year and a half, so.
You might want to remind them, if they pick it up and put it back again, they agreed not to put all these sugary sodas
Right,
out there,
right.
and they did.
Yeah. Well, the Little League meeting's right down the street. I can go see them and ask them about that, but, yeah, down the hall, okay. Sunday, I was over at Leet. Some of the fields have got some.
Major grub problems.
Major grub problems. I know the skunks have been coming out and
I
and
sent
really
an
rooting.
email to all the youth, all the soccer groups to let them know that's what's happening there, and to be careful, because we can't treat it, we can't use any kind of herbicides, pesticides to treat it, but we're seeding, and that's all we can do, when we
Okay.
seed it.
I was at Long Hill for a
Wait,
game.
wait.
What? I'm sorry.
So you reseed it, and then what happens? They don't go away.
There's nothing else we can do, well, eventually they die out, they'll be dying out pretty soon anyway,
Oh,
or they go
okay.
deep, whatever. The worst time
So
is
do they come back
late.
again in the spring?
Fall, we always see them in the fall.
Fall, mostly.
Yeah, this time of year, we see them, and then they're gone pretty soon they'll be gone.
Oh, all right.
But the damage is done.
Molehill issue at all, or no?
Well, no, what it is, the grubs are there, the moles are eating the
Yeah.
grubs, and then the skunks come out looking for the,
Looks like
for
it's
the
been
moles.
rototilled.
Because I have a huge mold problem in my yard with that issue, so that's why I'm asking, are we getting like on the fields,
These critters
hills?
come out of the weeds around the perimeter of the
Gotcha.
field, and they just go
Okay.
right after, they're scenting them out and digging them out. They're literally just tearing the grass out, just looking for them.
Nobody's developing something that we could use.
They're working
that is
on some,
child-safe?
there's some products that aren't approved yet. Anything that's called having an EPA registration number, it just means we can't use it, because it's considered to be, a pesticide. We
Right.
can't, it's state legislation, we can't use them on
Near
school
schools,
grounds.
I do know that.
Lead has been an ongoing problem, Nut Plains tends to be a problem, Adams, there's some going on in the Little League field there. A number of years ago, the president of Little League, I'm thinking probably 10, 15 years ago, he had asked me if we rototilled all of right field of the Adams A Little League field. It was skunks, it was the grubs and the skunks, and it looked like it was rototilled, it was all chewed up, and over the course of a week or so.
And the grass just dies,
Yeah.
and there's nothing left.
You should
John,
call
before you leave the-
Nature Works in North Haven, because they're an entirely organic garden center, and they sell a product that kills insects in the ground, it kills off the Japanese beetle grubs and all that kind of stuff.
What about milky spore?
Is it nematodes?
Doesn't work too well. Nematodes, yeah, they work only on one type of grub, it's very labor intensive, you have to come out before dawn.
Wet it, I think.
It's gotta be wet. There's some things that work a little bit, but, believe me, I communicate with Greg Bugby a lot on this. Greg's not only an expert on pond weeds, he's an expert on turf. And he, he and Ted Ty, another guy that we talk to a lot about these things, and there's not a lot we can, and Tony and I have been to a lot of different seminars on this, on organics. In fact, Tony and Scott went to one last week, and basically they just said, seed it like crazy. Seed, that's what we do.
Seed.
Okay, sorry, John.
Okay, and I just
John,
have,
before you leave the grubs, so we don't go. Are there grubs on the town green?
I don't think so. I haven't seen them there.
No.
Oh, okay, all right.
I've not seen them on there.
well, there aren't any skunks in the town green either,
Well,
so.
Yeah, really.
That's because we have bears.
Yeah.
Downtown.
Okay, and I just have one last thing. I was over at Long Hill the other day, again for a game, and the handicap parking signs are all the way over by the football. We should have a handicap sign right where we entrance comes in.
Yeah.
That's where they were.
Yeah.
Well, but they're not there
By the Ken
now.
Mulvey sign, you mean there?
Yes.
That's where they were.
Well,
were
there are
some
two
there.
signs that say no parking, which of course people
That's
ignore.
right, that's right, yeah.
But
Yeah.
there is no handicap
They should
sign
be
there
right there.
for people to watch the soccer
For
games.
both sides. You go down to the baseball games and the football games.
Right.
They should be.
They're all the way down by the football
barn.
lodge or barn or whatever you want to call it. And
You're right.
Ironically, they're right there, right where the soccer balls come at them, so it's not exactly.
Yeah, we'll put one,
I mean,
Let me ask you, do you see many balls going, like, into the parking lot? You ref games there?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did the other day, yeah.
Because I was thinking about, do we need to put a net up
No.
there, but is it, because.
I mean, the balls go in there, but but the varsity teams don't use it, it's just a sub-varsity.
Yeah,
So
just
the strength of their kick is not as strong
Yeah,
as
okay.
as the varsity players.
They might beg to differ on that.
But, I mean, there is parking, handicap parking for the football spectators, but not for the soccer and
Yeah.
lacrosse.
We had signs there when we put the.
I think they took them down
Yeah.
for, during the winter time, and when they came back up, they weren't where they used to
I'll
be.
check it, because I thought we had some over there.
Yeah, the no parking signs are actually built, attached to the fence, and they're low. So if you can park in front of them, nobody knows that
So
there's a no
why
parking.
is there no parking there?
Well, we wanted to keep so people can see the Ken Mulvey sign.
Ah,
Yeah.
That
Which
was
is higher up, you can see it, I think,
That's
anyway,
right.
even the car's there, but.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll get some signs.
Yeah.
but it would be nice, yeah, for the folks who need it.
okay, so go for it.
Any other business?
Now, I think.
Go, Sue.
Now we can go.
Hurry up.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Sue's
Yes,
getting ready.
I have a motion to adjourn.
Is there
I
a
will
second?
second that.
Meeting's adjourned.
All in favor?
All good.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
Rock and roll.